Ta-da! Mommy did it. Mommy brought into the world a book that was inside of me. So many of us have books inside of us. I've heard that saying quite often. And when I decided to write my book, my debut book for moms, Fertile Imagination, I had 1,001 decisions I had to make before giving this to the world as I have right now. Some of the decisions were super simple. It was like, oh, what color paper do you choose for your book interior? But some of them were really devastatingly difficult, such as to whom am I writing this book? This book is very deeply personal in the sense that I decided to write this book to a mom like myself, a mom who years ago had actually lost a sense of her imagination. And that's why it's called Fertile Imagination. It's really about having an abundance of ideas that they are so exciting. They like cause you to like jump out of bed without an alarm clock, right? They cause you to go after them with wild, wild, wild ambition. They cause you to talk to strangers in a library or someone who's on the other side of the globe and put yourself in a position where you're having a conversation with them because what they have to say is so important. And I think those ideas, those ambitions, those dreams that we have and we hold, they are sacred. Like they are totally sacred. And I want you to know and to really feel the fact that if you have a book in your heart, on inside of you, that book needs to be out in the world. And what I mean by that is it's really important for you to tell your story, especially if you're a mom. I want you to just go back to a time when was the last time that you read a story written by a mom about motherhood. Was it a story that deeply resonated with you? Was it a story that felt completely unrelatable? For me, as I read so many books out there for entrepreneurs, and as I've been following people who I don't even know and they don't even know me, people who are like Sarah Blakely, and I'm wearing her Spanx pants, or Jesse Itzler, her husband, who I did his workshop, or, you know, Bozema, for example, right? The CMO of Netflix. I follow all these people that are completely unrelated to me and might have had completely different life experiences. And I do so for a reason. Because if I don't see what I need or what I desire within my realm, I go look for it. I look for it. And for me, that was the spirit of this book. I want to just share with you like some backstory stuff because I think it's like hilarious and totally appropriate for anyone who's a mom because you'll get this. So, how did I actually find the editor to my book? I found the editor to my book because I decided that year to follow my intuition. And I actually saw a book in Australia as my family and I were expatting there. I'm making that a verb now, where the book was really cool. It was like, oh, how do you actually have a vacation locally, right? And it had these wonderful graphics. And so I followed my nose in that way towards that book in Australia. And I saw the book and it was very well written. And I noticed that there were some editors that were part of the process. So I interviewed the author of the book on my podcast. And then I went on to search through the editors and find the person who helped me edit the book, Amanda McMahon. And she actually helped me throughout the course of these last 2 years iron out my thinking because I will say, this is like my third stab at the book. The first time around, I edited the book and it was by myself. And it was like, oh, just put everything in your brain on paper. But if you're a mom, your brain tends to be scattered a lot. So how does that look? It looks kind of sloppy, but I got it out, right? 70,000 words, done, out. Took a long time. Then I went on and I shared some of that wisdom with other people and they said, oh, that really sucks. And so then I went and I said, well, I like asking people questions. So let me think about how to ask myself questions such that it's going to force me to have a structure to this book. So I went on that journey by myself. And it wasn't until the third round when I said, let me actually hire an editor and put myself in a position where I will do my best work because I'm paying for the help. Not until then was it that I actually started creating this book. And it was during the pandemic, but it started with my intuition. I knew that I could find someone that could help me take this book from idea to paper to Amazon right now. So that was the first step. The other piece of the story, which is funny for a mom, is that when I wrote the acknowledgments to this book, Fertile Imagination, they were so hard to write for a couple of reasons. One, I'm here in Austin and there was no electricity. So electricity went down and it was me, the kids, and my husband at a Barnes and Noble. And I decided to like audio record my acknowledgments in a Barnes and Noble looking at the parking lot. And when I did that, I didn't realize how emotional you can get when you're talking about your acknowledgments. So that kind of was hard, right? Like here I am, like audio recording my acknowledgments, and we don't have electricity at home in the middle of winter in Austin. But it was also funny because then there were these police officers in the parking lot that were like looking for like a runaway turkey. I know this is so weird, but this is the truth, right? And there were so many other stories like this that comprise making this book. And I will say this, my imagination didn't fail me. It really didn't. My imagination said, Melissa, write the book. And part of my message for you, a mom, is no one needs to tell you that. Like, no one needs to tell you to write a book. No one needs to tell you to launch a business. No one needs to tell you to finish your book. No one needs to tell you to be a mother in this particular way or that particular way. That's something you have inside of you that you are able to pull out whenever you need it. And if we wanted to give imagination a little bit more of a texture to it, it could be like essentially whatever it is that you have inside of you that pulls you forward towards something that is exciting to you. That's what your imagination is. And it's fertile if it's productive and it's plentiful and it's powerful. And it's something that it can propel not just you, but those around you. That's what a fertile imagination is. A fertile imagination is kind of like how you used to play around with your imagination when you were in high school, let's say. Maybe you were like me. Maybe you fantasized about Pretty in Pink and going to the prom and oh my God, life would change. Or maybe you fantasized about living in London. Or maybe you fantasized about, having something else in your life, right? As an adult. That is a fertile imagination. A fertile imagination doesn't want to be ignored. A fertile imagination doesn't want to be poo-pooed on or diluted. Like your dreams are your dreams, and your dreams are not a laughing matter, but the pathway, the journey, the road towards the creation of your dreams. So making it from idea to reality, that can be something where you add some more playfulness to the process. I always say that, as an entrepreneur, as someone that has been on the online coaching space for 12 years, what I have really come to realize is that it's important for you to enjoy the process. And that's not new news. But the new news is this: as a mom, the process of motherhood is also one that you should enjoy as well. But there's so many conflicts between the two, between motherhood and entrepreneurship. And a lot of them are things that we tell ourselves, which is why in the book, in the first part, there's 3 of it. In the first part of this book, I share how you might want to go about untangling these conflicts that you have, whether you tell yourself you can do something or not, whether you feel creative or not, whether you feel like an imposter or not. These are all things that you may have inherited. You may have seen others around you who are moms approach life in similar ways, but you get to actually rewrite the script and you get to actually figure out how you want to play your role. In the book, I even included a Sesame Street puppeteer. And Chris, in the book, actually shares how it's important to treat different identities or characters that you might play in a way that it honors like what people expect of that character. So you're a mom, the expectation is that you're nurturing and that you are with your children, but at the same time that you add your own sort of twist to that character. And I would say, as a mom, I would say the twist that I offer is one that is unlike other moms I've seen around me before, you know? So I'm speaking from a family perspective. I cannot say that I've seen moms pick themselves as like the top priority in certain situations. I can't say that certain situations have been ideal either for other moms, right? But what I have seen, what I did see, what I did notice as far as my maternal lineage and what I speak to in the book a bit is about resilience. Resilience is like that one thing that keeps you going, and you might not need anyone around you to help you keep going. It's that one thing you could hang on to and you can teach your kids and you could show your kids, and you can then go sleep at night and know in the bottom of your heart that they're going to be okay. It's that one thing that finishes books. It's that one thing that births kids, you know? It's that one thing that goes and finishes the last mile of any race. It's that resilience. It's that perseverance. It's that tenacity. And I will say this, you have it. There's just no way on this green earth that anybody else is holding that captive. Like, you have it. Like, you've gotten this far. You have it. The idea with Fertile Imagination in my book is for you to start using it, for yourself. Because if you do something for yourself as a mom, you have at least one other individual looking at you. Whether they're pint size or they're taller than you have someone that is observing, and they're seeing and they're watching and they're feeling, and you want to do your very best by way of expressing yourself in a way that's authentic and also sets the standard and the tone for the way that you live and express yourself. So that is something that was really important for me to say. It was on my heart. Today's Halloween. Halloween wouldn't necessarily be synonymous with like being a mom. Halloween is synonymous with your imagination. And the way that I see it is that right now, today, you're going to be giving out candy to like trick-or-treaters who are expressing that they want to be anything that they want to be. We're talking about the wackiest costumes in the world, whatever that might be. Maybe people want to be lizards for Halloween. Maybe they want to be, go back to the 80s, like E.T. for Halloween. E.T. always scared me, by the way. Maybe they want to be a princess for whatever reason. Maybe they want to be a venture capitalist. I know that's random. Whatever a kid wants to be, they get to be. So my question to you is, why is that not the case for you and me? Why is it that as a mom, there's certain things that you must do, even if you don't want to do them and they don't even align with your values? Like, why must that be the case? Why must it be that when you're an adult, you can no longer be silly or cheeky or say jokes or be playful? Like, why is that the case? And I say that from what I've seen. I say that from what I've experienced. There were times when, when you have a degree or two or whatever, there's times when you've got to be serious, which I get it. But there's also times where adding that levity, that playful nature, using your imagination, being creative, having some sort of spirit in the room is a good thing and a necessary thing and something that is important. So today is the book launch day. It is a really important day, and timing actually matters, because it would be amazing if you shopped this book today and we could see this book rise the ranks on Amazon.com. So buy the book. The link is right there. I know it's like cryptic looking, but it's quite simple to actually get to. Fertile Imagination. Buy the book, shop the book, gift the book, and read the book. But more importantly, be changed by the book. This is not a book that's just to read and forget. It's a book to remind you of who you are, what you can do, and what you are meant to accomplish in your one life. Like, it's that kind of a book. It's also not a book that entertains too many excuses. That's one thing I would say for anyone that was raised under complicated conditions, for lack of a better phrase. Like, let's say you were raised and your mom was mentally ill, as was the case with me. Or let's say you were raised and you weren't raised with all the resources that are available in the world. Chances are you were given this unique opportunity to show up for yourself bigger than anyone else had to show up for themselves. And it's for a reason. It doesn't go lost on me, and it's not wasted, and it's not something to be ashamed of. It's something to actually leverage, use, scale, share, teach, and bring to the world, because there's just no way that what we see around us is precisely what we want to see around us. There's a lot of change that's necessary. And in my opinion, I think it's moms who are extraordinarily invested in making that change a reality, not just a talking point. So I invite you to shop the book today. It's available for 99 cents globally, actually. So you can shop this book in the UK, you can shop this book in Australia, in Japan, you can shop this book. It is in the English language. And it is also a book that reflects the opinions of people who have been on my podcast, 25 or so podcast guests, including Susie Batiste, who's the inventor of Poopery, including Beth Comstock, who is the CMO of GE, including Asha Karan, who's the CEO of Giving Tuesday. I mean, these are people who, I've got to be honest, when I have read business building books, these are people who are in those pages. And I wanted to shine the light and literally tap every mom on the shoulder and say, yeah, this is for you too. That was my intention. I wanted to be sure that these conversations, whether they are either profound in figuring out who you really want to be, or profitable in figuring out how you're going to accomplish your, income goals, I wanted to be sure that you were paying attention. A mom was paying attention, because I didn't feel seen in a lot of the business building books that I've read. They're outstanding. I could definitely do a lot of things in 12 weeks now, but I just didn't feel like it was talking to me. I felt like it was talking to my grown up sons, to be honest, right? Like, there's so many books that I've read that are quite specific and assuming that there's less conflicts and less emotional pulls on the heartstrings than us moms have. And I want to be sure that you have something to help you address those ideas. So let me know how I can be of value to you. The book is for sale and it's on sale right now on Amazon. I will put the link right in the comments or in the actual fields. And I'm so grateful to you. I'm grateful to everybody. I am so grateful to everybody. You guys really showed up today. You guys are 100% sensational. Whether you liked one of my posts, whether you commented on something, whether you just read an email, I am so grateful to you. Please know that, feel that, and understand that you matter more than you have ever believed before. I believe in you.